Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I am going to be showing you how to design and create an insert card using the Cricut Joy machine. So this card is for my friend's daughter Lydia, who is turning 7, in case you couldn't guess. So today I'll be showing you how I designed and created this card. Okay, so for this project you are going to need some sort of device. I'm using my laptop, but just whatever you have the Cricut Design Space on. You are going to of course need your Cricut Joy machine, some Cricut Joy insert cards and a Cricut Joy card mat. For this particular card that I'm making, I'm also going to be using a bit of vinyl, so I also just have a scrap bit of champagne vinyl and a Cricut light grip cutting mat, but these two bits are optional. So we will now start off by designing the card. So as you can see, I just opened up the Cricut Design Space and then I am just choosing a new project and blank canvas. The first thing that I'm doing is going into images and I'm just going to search insert cards corners. So this will give us the corners that you slot the insert into. This is a really great starting point because you can basically put, then exactly how big the card is, and you just put everything else inside those corners. And I always just go to the filter and just put free, just so then it's just the kind of Cricut corner options that come up. As you can see, there are quite a few different options. I quite often just go for the basic lines, but today I think I'm going to go with this one here just for something a bit different, and I'm just pressing the plus button to add that to my canvas. So as you can see, that's there, and I'm just double checking that it's the right size because you can get different size insert cards, so you just want to make sure that the size of the corners that you've chosen is correct for your cards, and mine is the 10.16 by 13.34 centimeters, which is correct, so that's perfect. And then I'm going to go back into images and just search 7th birthday, because this is a 7th birthday card, so I want a nice little number 7, and I'm going to choose this one here with a little crown, and again just adding that to my canvas. Obviously this is way too big, it's got this exclamation mark, which means that it's way too big to be cut with the Cricut Joy machine. I don't want it that big anyway, so I am just making that a bit smaller. I'll decide exactly how big I want it in a minute. I now want to add some text, so I'm just going to click on the text icon here and just type happy birthday. I'm going to move it this way a bit so that when I open up fonts I can see it. Now for a insert card, I quite like to use a font that is some sort of stencil font, so you can just go and search stencil, which will then give you all the fonts that are stencil fonts. This just, I think, is perfect for an insert card because it means that like the inside of letters won't be cut out, if that makes sense. So I'm going to use this font here, which I have bookmarked, which is the BFC Couture stencil. So I'm just clicking that, so that's perfect. And then I'm going to just create another text that says Lydia, and there we go. So now I'm just going to play around with the size. I think I might shrink the text size down to 60. And yeah, just kind of move things around, see kind of how I want everything positioned. I'm then just selecting both the Lydia and the happy birthday and going to align and center horizontally so that they are centered. And then I'm just going to group those together and select that with the corners and align center. I'm then just going to click back onto my number 7 and just bring that down a bit, and again just align that into the center, which it is, so that's perfect. So from here I'm going to ungroup the number 7 because I want to cut the crown separately. What I will now do is just select the insert card corners, the number 7 and my text, and attach those together. So yeah, that is my card all ready now to be cut out. So I'm going to click make. And for this specific one, I'm going to select multiple ways only because I'm also using the vinyl. But if you are just making a card, you can just click on card mat. So for the vinyl piece, I'm going to be doing that on a 11 by 16 mat, and then the card itself will be on a 10.8 by 13.9 card mat. So I'm actually going to start with the card itself, so I'm making sure that I have that number 2 selected. So my Cricut is switched on, so I can now just select continue. And while that's connecting, I'm going to prep my card. So just opening up my card mat and just removing that film. And I'm going to use this nice kind of sage green card. So as you can see, the card mat has this little pocket in it. So you open up your card, open up the slot and just slide that in like so. And then just press that down. Make sure it's nice and secure and isn't going to come off the mat. The mat is sticky, so it shouldn't come off, and this is a brand new mat as well, but make sure that it's pressed down. Then back in the Cricut design space, we want to select our material. So all the Cricut products will tell you on them what the material is. So this is a insert card, so I will select that. And then it's just telling me to load my materials. So I have my blade already loaded, have my mat, and now I'm just going to slide that into the machine. And then the design space is instructing me to click go. So I'll click that. And now it's just going to cut out my design for me. There we go, now that's all cut out. I can just click unload and take that out, and I'm just going to pop this to one side for now because I am now going to go back and cut out my vinyl. As I said, this is just a scrap piece that I have, so I'm not going to kind of worry too much about measuring it. But if you're using a bigger piece of vinyl, what you can do is you can see exactly how big you need the piece to be, and then you can cut a piece to size accordingly. This is smart material, so it can go in without a mat if you have a bigger piece, but for just smaller pieces like this, I prefer just to cut a small piece and use a light grip mat. So I'm just grabbing my mat, again taking off that protective film, just sticking my vinyl into place. This mat is a little bit older, so it's not as sticky anymore, so I just do like to just really make sure that it's pressed down nice and firmly. And then my material here is the matte metallic smart vinyl. And again, it will instruct you on screen what it is that you need to do. And then just clicking go. And then just unloading that. So I can now put my machine to one side because I'm done with all of my cutting. And I'm just going to remove this from the mat, and I'm just going to put this vinyl to one side and grab my card again. So I'm now going to remove the card from the mat. You can either just use your fingers to do this, or you can use a spatula tool just to kind of lift off that first edge, just like that. And then I'm just nice and gently just peeling the card away from the mat. It doesn't matter if these bits don't kind of pop out straight away because we will use a weeding tool to remove that. Peeling that away from the mat. And then what I just like to do is use either a spatula tool or a scraper tool just to remove anything that was left stuck to the mat. Doing this will just help the mat last a bit longer and stay stickier for longer. Okay, so I now have my card, and as you can see, the bits that we cut out are still kind of just clinging on in there. So I'm just going to grab my weeding tool and just go through and just poke those bits out. So as you can see, where we've done this as using a stencil font, for example, with the letter P, it's cut it out in 2 bits, which means that you keep the center of the letter, because if it just cut that all out in one piece, then you would lose this center piece of the letter. Sometimes the bits don't cut out very well, so you do just kind of have to poke them through and then turn the card over and just kind of help them along a bit. It doesn't matter if it rips a little bit on the back of the card because that's where the insert is going to be anyway. So that's all weeded now, as you can see. So it's time now to add in the insert. All packs of insert cards will come with inserts. However, I would really like to do a pink insert, so I'm actually going to make my own, and this is really, really easy to do. Sorry, I've zoomed out and now you can see all of my mess. So I'm just grabbing a piece of pink card, which I just had lying around, and a paper trimmer. And I'm just going to trim this piece of card down to the size that I need for an insert. So it does actually tell you on the box how big the inserts are. So I can see that they are 10.1 by 13.3 centimeters. So I'm just going to cut this piece of pink card to be that size. Obviously this is a completely optional step. You can just use the inserts that come with the cards. I normally do, but just on this occasion I specifically wanted a pink insert. So now I'm just turning the card over and just slotting the insert into these corners that we cut out. Like that. And then I just like to turn my card back over and just kind of bend it and wiggle it around a bit just to help that insert really settle into place. So that is the insert card part of this card done. So I now just want to add my crown over the 7. So I am grabbing that bit of vinyl again that we cut earlier. I'm just going to start just by cutting around it because I can reuse this vinyl again. And then once again, grabbing my weeding tool, I'm going to start just by removing the heart from the centre. And then just removing that excess vinyl from around the side to reveal the crown. So I'm now just going to cut a little piece of transfer tape. You can kind of put the vinyl underneath to measure the transfer tape, or you can just kind of eyeball it. I quite often just eyeball it. So just popping that transfer tape over the top of the vinyl and then using my scraper just to make sure that that transfer tape is really adhered to the vinyl. I think that should be okay, but I will just kind of just try lifting a corner. There we go, and then just peeling that away. grabbing my card, and just before I press the vinyl down, I'm just going to kind of hover it over where I think that it should go, make sure that it's where I want it, which it is, and then just gently pressing that down and then lifting the transfer tape off. I'm doing this really carefully because obviously this is card and I don't want it to rip. So just really gently peeling that transfer tape off, making sure that the vinyl is stuck down. And there we go, that is how you can design and make an insert card using the Cricut Joy machine. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please do give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And also let me know down in the comments what craft videos you would like to see in the future. I'd quite like to turn this into a series. I'm filming this video in my little craft corner, so I'd quite like to start a Becca's Craft Corner series. So yes, if you do have any other projects that you'd like to see me create with the Cricut Joy machine, or any knitting or crochet videos, then do just let me know down in the comments and I will make those. And yeah, I will see you all again very soon with another video. Bye!